What's up, Patriots fans? Harrison Graham here from Chat Sports, and we're getting closer to the NFL draft, less than 3 weeks away. So on today's show, we're going to go through 4 blockbuster trade down ideas if the Patriots decide to move off that number 3 pick in the NFL draft. Now look, if you've watched this show for more than a week, you know what my stance, what this channel's stance is. If Drake Maye is there at number 3, that's the preferred outcome. If it's Jayden Daniels, I'm still probably taking him as well. I'm more open to hearing trade offers, but if it's May, I would have to be insanely blown away for me to even consider it. So that's this channel's stance. But there's been enough reports, enough buzz that the Patriots are at least open to the idea. So I thought we would explore some potential trade down ideas and what those trade packages could look like. So take a guess. What will the Patriots do with the number 3 pick in the draft? If you think they're going to keep it and draft a quarterback, type K for keep. If you think they're going to trade down, type T for trade. Let me know what you guys think. All right, let's get to trade idea number 1. Numero uno. A trade with the Vikings, who are kind of the trendy team for almost a month now, ever since they picked up that extra first-round pick from Houston to potentially move up. Here's my trade idea. Very simple. 3 first-round picks for the number 3 pick. I know we've discussed the Justin Jefferson idea here on this show. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I was like, okay, what's an idea that at least could be more realistic on both sides? I still probably wouldn't do it again if it's Drake Maye there, but I got to get at least 3 first if I'm dropping outside the top 10. Because realistically, if you're dropping that far, you're probably not getting a quarterback. I mean, maybe you take Michael Penix at 11. If he's sitting there, that could be a possibility. But this is more of a, okay, let's just load up on capital type of move, and we'll worry about quarterback down the road, which there's pros and cons to both sides. I say if a guy like Drake Maye is there, just take him. But we know Drake Maye's been connected to Minnesota. Josh McCown, their QB's coach now, was one of his high school football coaches a few years ago. So I could definitely see Minnesota making a big offer here. And look, 3 offers is a big offer, or 3 first-round picks is a big offer. So we'll see if that's enough. I would still rather have Drake Maye, but I could see them at least entertaining this type of offer. All right, trade idea number 2 with the New York Giants. Excuse me. I think the Giants might be the biggest wild card in this draft. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Like, with the Vikings, you at least know they're going to try to trade up. Like, that's obvious. Now, whether or not they find a trade, that's yet to be seen. I don't know what the Giants are going to do. They're going to trade up. They're going to take a quarterback or receiver at 6. Could they move down? I don't know. I do think that Brian Dable and Joe Schoen could be under a little pressure, and if they're feeling that pressure from the Mara family, they might feel the need to go up a few spots for a quarterback, especially if the recent reports that 4 QBs could go in the top 4 or 5 with Arizona or LA being willing to trade down. Then, well, if you're the Giants and you really want one of these guys, you may have to try and move up. So, number 6 overall pick, you swap with 3, obviously. You send the first, next year, and number 70 overall this year. I think from the Patriots' standpoint here, this trade gives you options. The Patriots could get a top wide receiver at 6. We know they like Malik Neighbors. That's been reported. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. is there as well. Or you could still get a quarterback maybe. Maybe one of the top 4 guys falls there. Maybe you really like Michael Penix. Maybe you trade down a second time with another team to get even more draft capital. So it gives you options if you want to do this. It probably takes you out of top 3 QB range in this draft, but moving down a few spots, you could still get a top receiver. Maybe you take the best tackle. That's certainly on the table as well if you are the New England Patriots. All right, before we get to our next trade, let's talk about today's sponsor. That is Prize Picks. Listen, got the national championship game coming up. We got NBA playoffs just around the corner, NHL playoffs as well. And hey, NFL football is going to be back before we know it. We got some season-long, more or less, projections here. You got Christian McCaffrey getting it done on the ground. We're going to take the more there. Patrick Mahomes as well. Take the more. And then C.J. Stroud. I mean, who knows how big his numbers could be this year. Adding Stephon Diggs into the mix. Get some season-long projections in there. No Patriots ones yet because we don't know who the quarterback is. Once those are available, we'll be sure to pass that along. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. Listen, pick more, pick less. Stat projections for games, season longs like those. that we just showed you and a whole lot more. This is the time to get in with a couple of big sports heading into the playoffs just around the corner. Check it out. Link is in the comments and in the description. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. Let's get started today. Okay, 2 more trades. Trade number 3, it is with the Las Vegas Raiders, kind of focusing on teams looking to move up for a quarterback, obviously. It's pretty well documented at this point that the Raiders love Jayden Daniels. Antonio Pierce, their head coach, he was a coach on Arizona State staff when Jayden Daniels was there. They have a tight relationship. That is public knowledge. That is not loose rumors. So that is already on the table. I think he would love to get his hands on Jayden Daniels at this point in time. So here's the trade idea. Pretty big one here. 3 firsts and a 4th for the number 3 overall pick. Look, I mean, again, you're getting outside the top 10. Like, you got to pay a premium. Like, if you're looking at the trade draft chart, that's an overpay for Vegas, but that's what it takes to get a quarterback, man. To go from 13 into the top 3 for a franchise QB potentially, that's just what it costs, man. I mean, you think about the Carson Wentz trade up from way outside the top 10 to do that several years ago. RG3 with Washington. I mean, that's what it costs. I mean, it's 3 first-round picks and then some. So that's kind of what I'm looking at if I am New England. Because, again, I don't need to trade down if I'm the Patriots. So if I'm going to, you're going to have to blow me away. And to me, that's got to be 3 first-round picks for a team picking outside of the top 10. Jayden Daniels, obviously, having a fantastic season last year at LSU. What would you rather do at number 3? Like, say Caleb and Drake are gone. You're on the clock. Are you taking Jayden Daniels? If so, type JD. Or are you going to move down? If so, type M for move down. Still probably take Daniels, but like I said earlier, I'm at least answering the phone. I'll see what teams are offering me, and if I get blown away, maybe I consider that. Last one here, trade with the Broncos. You know that Sean Payton would love to get his hands on a franchise quarterback. They might just stay at 12-2 and take a Penix or a Bo Nix. We'll have to wait and see. But I could see if Drake Maye becoming available at 3, you know he'd love to have the chance to work with a guy like that. Here is my trade idea. 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick in Cortland Sutton for the number 3 overall pick. By the way, their first this year is the 12th overall pick. So instead of 3 firsts and like a day 3 pick, 2 firsts, a second, and Sutton. Bring him on board. He's not a number 1, but he's a good boundary receiver. You'd have him, Kendrick Bourne, your 2 slot guys. You could still add somebody in the draft as well. Wanted to get one trade in here where you get a quality player onto your roster. Again, you know, I don't think Sutton's a number 1, but I think, you know, him and Kendrick Bourne could be adequate on the outside. Osborne and Douglas could be kind of your speedsters, and you at least feel okay about that. Add someone, you know, day 2 of the draft or something like that, and you have a much better wide receiver room. All right, there you go. Subscribe to the channel. If anything happens, if they do trade down, if there are more news and rumors around this football team, we're going to keep you locked in. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Do not go anywhere here on Patriots Today. Those are the trade ideas with the Vikings, Giants, Raiders, and Broncos. Those are 4 teams to monitor between now and draft night, as I do think something big's going to happen in the top 10. I don't know if it's going to involve the Patriots or not, but teams get desperate for quarterbacks, and this is a QB-heavy draft at the top. Should be a lot of fun to monitor on draft night.